What is up, you guys? It is James from James Reptiles, and today we're going to be talking about snakes, and specifically one of the questions I get asked the most when I go to family events or I meet new friends or my neighbors. The one thing I always get asked is, you keep snakes? Don't they bite? Now, I do keep snakes. I actually mostly keep geckos. I do enjoy snakes. I do have a lot of snakes. Let's do a real quick count. 3, 6, 10. 10 snakes. I have 10 snakes currently. To start out the question, yes, I do get bit occasionally. I've never been bitten by a snake older than a year old. And to put that into perspective, snakes, for the most part, take 3 years to reach adult size. So, and not even just adult size, sexual maturity. So it's usually longer till they get 100% full grown to whatever species and whatever length they're gonna get. So a snake that's a year old is not very big. I'll show you some in just a couple of minutes. I've only been bitten once by a snake that was a year old, and I get bit working with other people's snakes, like baby snakes, pretty frequently. It's just because baby snakes have more temperament and they're not used to being handled. And their bites, I mean, I was over at my buddy's house working with his snakes yesterday, and I had like 15 snakes biting on my hand. You see any marks? No, you don't see any marks because it's just like, oh, like just a light little pinch, and you're like, oh, it must have just bit me. But there's no blood, there's no nothing. I'm gonna take some snakes down for you, and I'll show you. Once you start handling snakes, you kind of get confidence, and the snakes can sense that confidence. They're not gonna want to bite you. And of course, there are some species and some specific snakes who just don't enjoy being handled, and they can get aggressive, but that's just how it is. Every species is different, every snake's different, every animal is different. Let's show you some, and I'll continue talking about them. Now, right here I have my three, well, I do have a baby snake over there, but I'm not going to hold it. Right now I have my 3 youngest snakes in these small tubs. And this specific species is a California king snake. They're known for being flighty, and he'll actually probably musk on me. This is a het albino male coral banded. It's about a year old. It's a little small for a year old. It's kind of a picky eater. And you notice it's in my hand. Like, obviously he's moving a little bit weird. He's not 100% sure about being handled, but he's fine. This snake's never bit me, and I would like to keep it that way. This snake has musked on me before, and basically what that means is he'll shake his tail and he'll fling a very specific smelly poop around, and it'll get on me, it'll get on the table, and it gets really far. But this snake's never bit me. Let's move on to the next one. This is going to be his girlfriend in a couple years when they're all grown up. This is a female het albino California king snake. You can see just there, she did musk on me. I don't know if you can see it, it's all over the table. She obviously doesn't enjoy being held, but I'm holding her, she's not biting, I'm getting very close to her head. It's not even an option for her, she's not even thinking about biting me. And I've got some that are adults, and they're the exact same way. Snakes don't really want to bite. It's not their favorite thing to do, it's not what they think is their only option. Obviously they'd rather run away. Alright, this next snake is new to me. Quite fairly new. I've had it for about 2 weeks. The person who produced this snake produces a lot of snakes, and that being said, she didn't have time to hold every snake all the time. So you would think, oh, this snake's a little bit bitey. And at the same time, It is a rat snake, which is known for being very bitey and cantankerous. So this right here is a Vietnamese blue beauty rat snake. It'll get hopefully upwards of 10 feet in length. They're known for being extremely aggressive and bitey, and this female right here, I actually bought a pair. I sold the male because they were related and I did not want to inbreed. She's spazzier than the male, and the male had a wild-caught mother. So this very aggressive, striking, unfriendly snake that wasn't held very much, and I've only had it for 2 weeks, hasn't bit me. They're super calm, like I'm touching her face. She's just fine. She's chilling. Everyone's happy. This is Esmeralda, by the way. There she goes. Now, when a snake bites you, it has the opportunity to lose some of their teeth. And that's not something they want, so they're really going to try to stick away from doing it. Their teeth do grow back slowly, but it's not their favorite thing. Now these are a pair of yearling corn snakes. The female was the first snake bite I ever got when she was just a baby. This is the male, but that's him at a year old. At about 3 years, it'll probably be about that long, about that round. But these are just amazing little snakes. Corn snakes have the most absurd food response of any snake. You know, they go crazy, they'll eat anything, they'll eat huge prey items, they'll eat multiple prey items, they'll eat literally anything. And I just picked him up and he didn't even consider me food for 2 seconds. And that being said, I do feed all my snakes in their enclosures, which people would say, you know, don't do that, your snake's gonna think you're food and all that stuff, but I don't seem to have any problem with it whatsoever. This guy's chunky. Let's take out his girlfriend. And these two will be a pair in a year or two, maybe a year. I mean, they're getting big pretty quick. And then this is the girlfriend. She's a little bit lighter, but obviously I picked her up. And no signs of biting, no aggressive movements, no quick dodging. She's perfectly fine. Corn snakes are great beginner snakes, and all the snakes I have are good beginner snakes if you do your research. Of course, there are technically some beginner snakes for me because I haven't had many for very long. Obviously, I have quite a bit at this point, but I got my first snake about 3 or 4 years ago. Let's see. These two are just another pair of yearling corns, just like those two. This snake in particular, I bought as a baby. It was one of my first snakes. I bought it from a guy who said it was too aggressive for his kids. And I'm pretty sure it was a wild-caught animal as a baby because we do have these native in California. They're California king snakes after all. This animal always musks on me and hates being handled, but it's never bit. So even though it hates being handled, it's not bitey, it doesn't seem to want to bite. It's actually being very calm for its normal self. It would never usually let me touch its head like this. But this is just a beautiful animal. I mean, why would I keep a snake if it bites me, right? If snakes bit me all the time, why would I want to keep them? I'm not trying to be some macho man. Oh yeah, they bite and it hurts and I love it. They're just fun pets. Now, I do have some other adult snakes over there I'm not going to pull out for this video, but this girl I've purchased or rescued or whatever you want to say. At the time she was an adult. So I'm not really sure exactly how old she is, and she's been refusing food for a little bit now, so she's probably pretty hungry. But just like that, I picked her up. She's got some tail damage she had when I got her. That was kind of the reason they were trying to rehome her. Her tail's fairly limp, and that's before her even vent, which is where she poops. So I'm worried about her recently. She hasn't been eating. She actually regurged once, but just like that, it's possibly a wild-caught animal with injuries, and she's not bitey at all. And this would be one of the snakes I'd be worried about. She's such a, not large, but she is an adult and she could make me bleed if I wanted. But just like that, those are a bunch of my snakes and none of them bite. So next time, if you want a pet snake and your parents say, oh, you don't want that, it's gonna bite you, show them this video, show them all sorts of videos. There's tons of videos out there about it. Snakes don't tend to bite. They're just, actually I get bit more often by geckos than snakes. And gecko bites hurt a lot more than snake bites, honestly. But I hope some of this information helped you guys out there, and I really hope you enjoyed. I'm James from James Reptiles. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It really helps out the channel. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, jamesreptiles@gmail.com, and have a good one.